Can we invite members of the audience to have a look at the Third Age Media Association booth after the talk, after this first forum? There are magazines for sale, the senior magazine, each copy of which is usually retailed at 10 ringgit per copy. You can get them at the bookstores, including Kinokuniya and all the major book stands. Just for today at the conference, we are offering them for 8 ringgit per copy, simply because you're special. And for those who are interested to get more copies, 100 copies and above, perhaps for your organization, for members of your community, it is going for only 7 ringgit per copy. Some of the content that you hear today in the in today's conference is actually published in the magazine itself. So you get the printed copy as well as the audio and the visuals. Yep. So please drop by Tama booth, get a copy of the senior magazine, and you can also be a part of the future publications by being a sponsor or an advertiser. At the same time, O'Brien's has very mindfully reminded us that there are sandwiches in the bag. So for those of you who have not had your sandwiches, kindly finish them because they would like them to be had while it's fresh, although it's still good a little later, but it'd be good to have them really fresh now. So as we invite Datuk Muslim up on stage, be mindful of your O'Brien sandwiches, yep, as well as coffee. There are coffee and tea stations at the side of the room. Third Age Media Association, Tama's Deputy President and the editor of Senior Magazine, Datuk Musli Ayub, moderates our first forum. Datuk Muslim is a retired Major General, boasting a 35-year career in the Royal Malaysian Air Force, with a passion for 4x4 adventures around the world. A learned intellect and avid reader, today, Datuk Muslim hosts discussions that enable greater work in roles of civil society organizations on old age and aging, advocacy, action, and impact. We welcome Datuk Muslim Ayub as he makes his way on stage.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
May I have my panelists on the stage, please?
Wan Rahima, Professor Rahima, do we have the other panelists? UPM representative, anybody? Please, do we know who these panelists are?
Datuk Rohani, Dr. Molicia, Professor Tan Moping,
Professor Tan is not around, I think, so we may proceed.
and Professor Nathan Vatyalingam. Vatyalingam mo tala? Okay. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we start this first forum without much further ado because I think we are running behind time and I'm trying to make time. We have 1 hour and first of all, may I introduce Dato Dr. Sun Tian Kue. He is from NASCOM. And then we have Dato Rohani. Huh? Ah. I see. Dia pun tak datang eh? I see. You are representing him.
Yes, I'm representing Datuk Rohani, our president from Usumas.
And then Dr. Molicia. You are Dr. Molicia.
Yes.
From GEM. GEM is Gerontology Association of Malaysia. Huh? Closer to the mic. Right, our topic is role of civil society organizations on old age and aging. In other words, we're going to talk about the role of the civil societies for which we belong to. And in particular, advocacy, action, and impact. So advocacy means we need to promote, we need to push, we need to lobby, and so on and so forth. And then action, we have to take action, not just talk and do nothing and hope for the best. We have to take action. And impact, what is the impact of what we are going to do? Do we get results? Or, and most importantly, is that we must measure what we have done and what we have succeeded. So, we have heard this morning from our patron, Tun Dr. M. We have heard from our president, Mr. Chia Tak Wing. We have heard other people, the VIP, our guest of honor, all mentioning about the age and the aging. And the statistics that they have provided. In other words, coming within 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, the population of senior citizens will be increasing. But the population of the youth seems to be declining because of lack of fertility or less fertility, or some people don't even want to get married. Or if they get married, they marry the wrong type. So, with the youth population decreasing and the senior citizen population increasing, we'll have a bit of an imbalance. We should have a pyramid, but we may be getting a barrel. The middle of the barrel is belongs to the working class, the second age, as it were, and the bottom of the barrel for the youth. Top of the barrel, us, senior citizen. So, we have in the country Ministry of Youth, but we don't have a Ministry of the Aged or the Ministry looking after senior citizens. So maybe this is one of the stuff that we'll talk about, or the later forum may talk about, related to ensuring that there is proper attention to the growing population of seniors. our society or CSO, civil society, we have plenty of them in the country. And they started way back, many, many years ago in the 20th century. So there's a need now to ensure that we coordinate all our efforts. So again, this is where our discussion and our advocacy, action, and measurement of the impact is important. So with that, I'd like to pass on to our panelists for them to, first of all, introduce themselves, and then talk about what they want to advocate or whatever for about 5 minutes. And then we will open it to the floor, including those who are watching us on Zoom, who should be submitting their questions, if they have any, by the chat or the suggestion facility in the Zoom. So I will call upon now.
Dato', before you proceed, a few seconds. I've been instructed by the organizers that for your comfort, speakers and moderator, you may remove your mask because you have all been given individual sanitized mics. However, if you remove, please remove it completely. Yeah.
Okay.
Your choice.
Of course, it's better to talk without the mask. But have to be careful also lah. So, Dr. Sun, please say what you have to say.
I hope you don't mind. I prefer to stand when I talk to all of you. This one? Okay. My name is Sun Ting Kui. I'm the Deputy President of NESCOM. I don't know whether you heard of NESCOM, but I was told only just now when I'm here, I give him 5 minutes to do the talk about this, and then the rest will be. But I do have a set of slides being made, and I would like to share with you. I will rush it through, and then hopefully we can share a lot of things. All right? So next, please. You control. Or I control. Where is the forward? Okay. Up, huh?
How long is this going to take?
You have to give me time to take. I will try to work with you 5-6 minutes. All right? If you don't want, I just step down and walk away. All right? Very simple. I was told only this morning you're giving 5 minutes to, all right? And no news at all. I do prepare a full slide. All right? And I want to have my share of sharing with all of you here. But I will not take more than 7 minutes. Is it fine? All right? Why is it not forward?
This session is supposed to be later.
Not your chance to talk, Dr. Molly, please. Okay? NESCOM. I have to share with you what NESCOM is all about. 1990, we were formed. If some of you in senior citizen movement, you'll know our Dato' Lam, the founding president. We have 40 affiliates. Affiliate means membership clubs and senior citizen association. Total about 20,000 members. Okay, where should I point here? No, it's not working. Oh, here. Okay, sorry. All right, The main objective of NESCOM, as I think all of you have said, is to encourage, support senior citizens to remain in the mainstream of society, to promote healthy and productive aging, to represent the senior citizen community on matters related to their well-being, to support the welfare and well-being of the senior citizen community. All right? All right? NESCOM is part of the Penasihat and Perundingan Warga Mas under the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Affairs. And then we also affiliated to Help Page International, which is very active in the welfare of senior citizens in this. All right, we have Rumah Warga Mas in Setapak, all right, started in 2005. A little bit about aging population in Malaysia. Professor Tan, please sit down. In Malaysia, we have a population of 32.7 million, right, with an annual growth rate of 0.4, and 8% of the population are senior citizens. When we say senior citizen, we define 60 plus, all right, not 65. And then by 2030, that's what everybody have said, we become an aged society. That means 15% of the population is above 60. All right? Why we become an aging population? Rapid aging. All right? Life expectancy have increased to 74.7. Sorry, our women folks are stronger. They live longer. All right? Women 78.8. Low birth rate, as our chairman said, now the younger people doesn't want to produce baby, all right? So as a result, we have a curve on the other side, 2040, we have a bulge in the, but I think more important is that the senior age group have actually expanded at the expense of the. Okay, just skip this. This is the world population changes over the year until 2050.
Dato',
All right?
Dato',
Yes.
Dato' Sun Chai here. We have a forum. We have prepared 4 questions. I believe we are trying to have a forum.
I was not told about this at all.
Yeah.
Okay, you let me finish this. It will not take very long. Okay?
Okay. But we are already behind time. I appeal to your cooperation, sir.
Your behind time schedule is not my problem because you are the one that managed the time.
Dato',
All right?
Dato',
Yeah, okay, I will finish
Thank you.
these 2 slides and then I
Thank you very
end my
much.
story.
Thank you very much, Dato'.
Okay, so you have the senior group. Talk about CSO, all right? CSO have a role to play in aging society. But I also want to remind everybody, CSO had limited financial resources. What that Mr. Lee said, we are supported by the state, now is not correct. All of us don't have funds from the government. All right? Some of them do have a small amount. All right? And we have to actually generate our own income. All right? We want to sustain. And now I want to share with you, many of the old folks' homes in this country are now run by community. All right? Of course, there are some private-owned run nursing homes, but many are community supported by the civil society. All right? So I have a few more slides, but never mind. I will stop here. CSO face a lot of problems in the sense that we have to raise our own fund for the activity. we do care for the welfare and the well-being of the senior citizen. In fact, I always advocate under the ministries talk about aging society 2030, what the government is doing. All right? Financial security, we have a big issue. Healthcare, all right, aged care, and also enabling environment. All right? So I will not proceed. I will just stop here as the organizer wishes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sun. I would like now also to welcome Professor Dr. Tan Mo Pin, who just arrived. But before I ask her to speak or introduce herself, we'll start the next panel with you.
Okay, I will keep it brief because I think we want to move to the questions. I'm Tan Mo Pin. I'm from University of Malaya, and I'm from the public sector really, because we actually are the first geriatric unit, and from our point of view, we started in the turn of the century 2000, and it's been a constant struggle because our healthcare system does not seem to be built up for older people. And so when we talk about expanding beds, expanding services, there are constant barriers. And really, when we really need the third sector to come up and be very noisy, because everybody else is so noisy at the moment that nobody's hearing the voice of the older population. And you know, we know there's a strong cancer lobby now. Cancer took some time to come over, but diabetes had always had a rather strong lobby. Heart disease have a very strong lobby. But we don't, the older people are silent, hopefully until today. And hopefully we actually need you guys to actually speak out so that more concerted effort can be done. Take the public service to task. Until they have developed services for older people, you don't keep quiet. Yeah. Of course, you want to commend them for efforts, but at the moment, I have to say the efforts amount to nothing. We go one step forward, 2 steps backwards. We only have 34 beds in geriatrics at the moment. We started with 50 beds in the year 2000 because other people are so much noisier than older people. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tan. Now I'll call Dr. Molly Chia to say something about what she's doing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Dr. Molly Chia, currently the Vice President of the Gerontological Association Malaysia. As you have heard earlier from the President, basically GEM, that's the short form for Gerontological Association, was formed about 30 years ago. Okay, and at that time we were one of the few with Usiamas at that time, were the earlier organizations, NGOs that were developed to address the issue of an aging society. Now, our main focus essentially was on education and public information, okay? And especially to the public, okay? But at the same time, we were not, how shall I say, we were not, in fact, we were very familiar with networking with other organizations. Yes.
Participants over this side find it difficult to hear you. Can you put your mic nearer to...
It's on, I think.
It is on, but
oh,
it's a bit
I
soft.
see, sorry.
Nearer to your mouth.
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, yeah. So we were very familiar with networking. For example, in the early days, we were networking with the Community Support Network, CSN. We were networking with organizations in Penang, for example, the Penang Medical Practitioners Association to develop and workshop and training for general practitioners in geriatric care. And we were also networking with various organizations. Hence, this is a prelude to our later discussion on the formation of a coalition. Okay. Now, the newer collaboration was actually with DBKL, for example, in their KLBA Kuala Lumpur Bebas Asap Rokok initiative, where GEM is advocating for our Atuk Nenek in the intergenerational advocacy for smoke-free generation. That is one of the networking, action of GEM. We are organizing a conference as well, this innovation in conference coming up in October, yeah, and we are collaborating with Minds, yeah, that's to organize this conference. One of the important activities that GEM did was actually developing the training modules for caregivers, because we can see that, the older generation are moving into care homes, and that caregivers need to be trained to do the job. Okay, so I will stop here, just to highlight some of the actions of GEM in the area of aging. Thank you.
Thank you. And now,
Terima kasih. Selamat pagi, selamat sejahtera semua yang hadir pada pagi ini. Nama saya Abu Bakar bin Abdul Rahman. Okay. Saya adalah seorang antara EXCO di dalam Persatuan Kebajikan Usia Emas Malaysia. Yeah. I representing Datuk Rohani. Datuk Rohani is our president. Formerly, our president is Datuk Abdullah Malim Baginda, the founder of the Persatuan Usia Emas. In short, kita panggil Usia Emas. Usia Emas Malaysia, in short. So, we have few slides to be shown. Yeah? Slide 1 sampai slide 4. Tapi dia semua pendek-pendek, ya. Established pada 1996, non-political, non-sectoral, and community-based. So you can see on our slide now, to enhance our slide, you can ask me directly later, all right? Actually, our main focus is on the home health services, ya, ataupun dalam bahasa Melayu, khidmat bantu di rumah. Di mana we are first-hand approach to the warga emas, and we give service, first-hand service to warga emas. So we are the pioneer of this program. We took up from Korea, and we run together with the Korean people and the Korean teachers, and we take up this program since 2013. Yeah? And the government looked at it, and he took up the program until right now. And since 2018, government give it to 100% to NGO, to our NGO, Usia Emas. So it's very interesting, this program, because we go down to the earth, yeah? We are being eye and ears of the government, yeah? From the grassroots level. So I think it's time for me to give you a look at the program, how beauty is the home health services. Thank you very much.
thank you, Chivaka. Right. Now, I have got here some prepared questions to start the ball rolling, so that we'll be able to actually do some discussion. First of all, I mentioned earlier about the growing population of seniors and the shrinking population of the youth. However, in government, we only have a Ministry of Youth, but we don't have a Ministry of the Aged. So on this, I would like a discussion, if we can, and ideas from the floor. So anybody would like to comment on this?
Yes.
Hi, Regina from Nomura. I think it's very interesting that you talk about a Ministry of Aged. Our government currently is made up of basically the older segment of society. So it's actually very shocking to me that given the fact that you've got the patron who was our ex-PM for the second time around, and even now the current PM is also in his late 70s, if I'm not mistaken. So surely the voice should be louder to get the agenda of a healthy aging, because at the end of the day, the impact of an aged society is going to be very significant, just 9 years down the road. So I would urge all of you here, as part of the NGOs and all the civil societies, to really have a voice and to really push that agenda, because surely now is the right time to just say, like, if the government and the ministers are all the same age and technically your cohorts or your schoolmates before, to actually push it up the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Do you want me to comment?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
See, as a result, as you can see, that there is not much of coordination and cooperation among NGOs. As we can see that there are a lot of NGOs that have sprung up over the last 40 years, since, GEM and, Usiamas and all that were formed. But there's very little cooperation. Individually, the NGOs can work with others. Hence, that's why we think that it is necessary and it's important to form a networking, arrangement or coalition, whatever you want to say it. But they must be inclusive. Gone are the days where you have the sector on the NGOs, another sector on the commercial enterprises, and another sector on the state or government. All the three sectors have to work together. There's a space that for NGOs to actually utilize with the help of the private commercial sector, as well as even, and even the government, must be involved into this collaborative action. That's what we are looking at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, please.
To add on to Dr. Molly, I'm James Tan, representing Real Estate Housing Developers Association, and we, the private sector NGO, would very much like to be part of the conversation of making homes and communities suitable for seniors. Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
CSO or NGO say a lot of things, all right? But was never properly presented, or even the Ministry of Women, Community and Family and Community Development only pay lip services to. I have been very vocal in a number of issues. For example, they want now to redefine senior citizen as 65 and above, which I doesn't agree. I mean, at least NESCOM doesn't agree. All right? If you want to move it to 65, we proposed earlier to retire at 65, and it was rejected by the government. We were told that the highest authority doesn't agree to have retirement at 65. Because you want a healthy and productive aging, all right? 60 to 65 is still very good but yet they say productive, healthy aging, but then they don't, all right? So we have, of course, to work together, but it's no point keep saying that this and that. We have to take the necessary action. Tell the government that we are very serious about aged care, especially when you reach 2030, right? I have been pushing for financial security, all right? We have the third sector, I mean, not to mention pensioner and EPF, that is totally depending on the support either of the family or the community or whatever. But then the family support now is deteriorating, all right? So there is a big issue of aged care, big issue of enabling environment. So we have to work hard to, in a way, don't say that the CSO, the community will take care of everything. Not possible. What is the role of government? The role of government is to help the elderly poor. All right? So they have a role to play as well. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's very true. The government have got an important role. However, at the moment, as far when it comes to the issue of the aged, it is we have too many places to go to attend to our problems. So that's why I was one of the guys advocating for a ministry of the aged. We have mentioned this idea to Dr. M a couple of years ago when we met him. He was supportive. He said, not the time yet. But, you know, the question is, when is the right time? As far as I'm concerned, it is now. If you have one ministry, it's a one-stop center. We don't have to go to health ministry to attend to our health problem. Don't have to go to Ministry of Education for education problem. We don't have to go to Ministry of Labor for labor and employment problem. Other countries are moving towards having their own Ministry of the Aged. Australia, for example, and I think Singapore also, and Japan. So, I think the point is the need is there because we are growing. Senior citizen population is growing. All right, now, is there a comment?
I have a comment here.
Okay.
I like the proposal that you mentioned that there is a Ministry of Aging. You have the panelists before you. Can I ask Prof. Moxie to comment on that first?
Yeah, you are talking about the Ministry of Aging, right? Yeah. What we think that.
What do you think? What Ellen thinks? Will it solve our problem?
I think less politicking might solve the problem. So it depends on what the Ministry of Aging is going to do. But at the moment, we do have issues of everything falling in between the gap of the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development. Aging has a very small, insignificant problems with that one, area in that one. So first of all, why there needed to be a ministry for women is an interesting thing. We could be a rebranding of the ministry and changing of their roles rather than because I think having a ministry for women in this century is probably a little bit strange. Yeah, but the problem is actually mindset. Yeah, so our older politicians don't see the need of other older people in the community. So they benefited from good health care, from good diet, and therefore they are able to be independent to their old age. But they don't seem to see that if everybody else got the same thing, they would also be as productive as them at that age. Whereas rather than basking in the glory of, I'm very good at this age, look at you, look at you. But it is actually quite important that they see that everybody could achieve an element of function at that age, and an old age does not need to be equal to dependency. So they had good care, therefore they could stay as healthy as they are. But what happens to everybody else?
Can I add on what the ministry is thinking? All right, they have Ministry Women, Family, Community. All senior citizen is under the Department of Welfare Services. All right, they have a big department on women. There's a Director General. All right, all folks or senior citizen under Welfare Services, OKU children. We did fight for a Department of Senior Citizen. You have to do it one step at a time, instead of straight away go to Ministry of, all right? Actually, that's why we are not pushing for it. I did speak to the Director General of Welfare Services, why there's no department of, he said, don't worry, our department will cover you. We have Pangara in charge of senior. To me, it's not good enough. So all of you should help us to push the idea, at least a department of Wagamas, something to that effect. All right? That's
Sorry,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sorry, I'm from Ben Parkinson. You see, I'm the founder there. I know what happens to those people who are having problems with old age. You see, when you're old age at time, every age, right? When you're old age, you have problems of dependency. You see? So when you're having a problem of dependency, who will help you? You help yourself. How? The government should do something about that. You see? I hope I support what Dato Sun said. We should have a department to give guidelines about old age. You see? Doesn't mean that they need to die. Am I right? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, what?
There are two more questions. I think there's one from here. We'll get the mic to you. In the meantime, no, we don't share the mic. That doesn't, the mic will come. Yeah. I now speak in my capacity, not as an MC. I will have a comment to make as well. I'm president of U3A in Bandar Utama, and I was a former councillor. The key problem that we have when we look at aging people, or aging population, is the society, the government authorities, they look at them as a burden on society. That's why your welfare. And senior citizens are not a burden. Their lifetime of experience, their time in hand that they have now, they can be an important asset. And if we can look at that mindset, as Professor Tan had said just now, that is one step forward. With or without ministry, but the mindset of people must change. They are an asset, they are not a burden. Thank you.
Yeah, good point.
Hi, my name is Manto. I'm the National Secretary for the Aged Care Operators Association. I think my view is this. I want to seek your view on my observation. Number one, I think why the aged society are sidelined is because, number one, they have no political value in any election. You look at the queue, over 60s and over 70s are the shortest. And of course, but I believe they have economic value because of the government thinking of putting it at the age of retirement at 60. Immediately you stopped the economic and ability of many working people. And what do you think of this to the panel?
Well, I always advocate that when you are 60, next day, above 60, are you dead already? But that's what the people think. After 60, you are no use. That is a wrong concept. All right? I continue to be the same person when I'm 60 plus 1 or plus 2 plus 3. So the retirement age concept, you have to really, and many of us now, we are living much longer, right? So last time we reached 57 and Independence Day. But now we have reached 75, 78. We can still contribute where we are above 60. So I think that the government should seriously, many countries retirement at 65 and above as well. All right, and this will lessen the burden to the government's pension fund as well, correct? All right, we have 5 years extra working, they pay 5 years less of pension, all right, and so on. In fact, for the poor people, they never retire. I'm a laborer, 60 onwards, I still have to toil my land or do whatever is necessary, right? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abu Bakar,
Yes.
sorry, that you, as an NGO, you played a role of the home health services to start off home health services in Malaysia under the Korean model, and now it's been taken over as a practice by the government. So I'm now asking you, what would be your role as a NGO to help the government in this kind of effort? Because I think there is a big role here that you play in delivering home health services to the local people, to your target population. Can you elaborate more? And I'm thinking of not just looking at we depend on the government, but I think the NGOs now has the complementary and the supplementary role to assist in delivering of services. I think, and I would like you to share how can you enhance your role in looking at the home health service. I think it is a crucial issue and it's a crucial services that is needed by many. Can you elaborate more on that?
Thank you. Terima kasih, Lieutenant. In fact, kita ada slide tadi yang kita nak tunjukkan tadi adalah strength kita. Strength kita bila kita melaksanakan program khidmat bantu di rumah, ataupun kita panggil home health services. In fact, program ini dah merata di setengah negara, di Korea, di Jepun, di Singapura pun ada. Dan strength kita, kita melihat bahawasanya servis kita buat mulanya pada 2005, ya. Dan apa yang kita lihat bahawasanya home health services adalah suatu perkara yang kita sendiri buat, memberi khidmat kepada warga emas, target group. Ibaratnya kita macam keluarga kita. Contoh, kalau saya jadi sukarelawan, saya nak beri khidmat kepada warga emas, ya, di jiran sebelah saya menganggapkan warga emas jiran saya itu adalah keluarga saya juga. Begitu juga di sekitaran kawasan tempat kita tinggal. Jadi inilah kekuatan kita di mana program ni seharusnya dimulakan daripada komuniti itu sendiri. Ya. Yang mustahaknya program ini tunggak dia mestilah ada sukarelawan. Yang kita susah nak dapatkan sukarelawan ni kerana mereka tidak disedarkan dalam masyarakat kita untuk melihat warga emas itu adalah seperti emas juga, ya, seperti kita harga emas. Jadi itu ingin dipanggilkan warga emas yang berumur di Malaysia ini 60 tahun. Ya. In fact, kita start program ni di Kelang, ya, di Kelang, dan diperlihatkan begitu potential. Dan government, of course, dia absorb program ni kerana mereka lihat program ni percentage to the warga emas. Ya. But beside kekuatan kita, kita juga ada kelemahan kita. Ya. Ada kelemahan dalam program ni. Contohnya financial resources tadi. Ya. Bila kita bersebut pasal NGO, kita unprofitable organisasi. Ya. kita biasanya mengharapkan sedikit wang, grant daripada kerajaan. Ya, tetapi masalah yang kita hadapi, kita tidak dapat sepenuhnya kolaborasi, ya, sepenuhnya kerjasama dengan pihak kerajaan dari segi teknologi terkini, di mana kita nak buat database, ya, antara warga emas, ya. Kita ambil contoh, kalau dikatakan kami ada di 3 buah negeri, ya, yang kerajaan amanahkan kepada kita buat khidmat bantu di rumah, home help services, di KL, FT, Kuala Lumpur, di negeri Selangor dan juga di negeri Sembilan. Ya. Kalau kita ambil kira, kita ada 316 orang volunteer dan 1,264 warga emas yang berdaftar dengan USIM Mas. Jadi begitu besar, baru 3 negeri. Tapi kita amat gembira share, NGO lain pun buat sama dengan kita, ya. Selain daripada Kuala Lumpur, Negeri Sembilan dan Negeri Selangor, ya. Negeri-negeri lain pun yang terlibat, ada NGO yang buat, ya. Super dengan USIM Mas. Jadi dengan itu pihak kami mengharapkan, ya, merayu kepada pihak kerajaan dan juga badan-badan lain yang boleh sama-sama kita hidupkan, menjitukan program home help services ni ke tahap yang lebih tinggi. Telah professional way, ya, cara sistem, ya. Yang penting itulah, kalau program ini diperakui national program, diangkat home help services ini sebagai national program kerajaan. Tetapi malangnya kolaborasi sepenuhnya daripada pihak kerajaan, terutamanya agensi-agensi kerajaan, tidak memberi ketumpuan kepada usia emas ke arah menjitukan program national program ini. Jadi di sini kami mengambil peluang untuk menjemput, ya, NGO lain untuk bersama-sama kami. Contoh, kami memerlukan maklumat teknologi terkini, ya, supaya dapat diselaraskan, dapat penambah baikkan, ya, update dan juga segi keuangan untuk menyelaraskan keuangan. Kalau contoh, kalau tiga negeri kita dapat grant untuk melaksanakan program kita dengan begitu ramai sukarelawan yang terlibat dan juga warga emas yang terlibat, mereka ada insentif-insentif yang kerajaan tentukan bayaran dia. Jadi inilah yang kita khawatirkan. Sekiranya kita gagal untuk melepasi bajet kerajaan mengikut cara-cara kerajaan dari segi audited, maka inilah yang akan terjadi kepada NGO, ya, kegagalan ini, ya. Dan bagi pihak sukarelawan, dia tidak terikat mana-mana pun. Dia tak ada apa-apa ikatan, ya, dengan pihak kami, dengan pihak NGO, guides and rule. Jadi mereka kalau ada kes ke, tak ada kes ke, kalau dia nak tinggalkan kami, sukarelawan ni, dia akan tinggalkan. Jadi di sinilah pentingnya. Kita perlukan latihan, kursus, pre-kursus untuk melatih jitunya tahap pemikiran dan jati diri sukarelawan itu. Ya. Inilah tunggak utama untuk menjayakan program khidmat bantu di rumah. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much. Now, Dr.
Can
Molly got something.
I comment on this one as well? I think there's a need to profile the older population in this country. You know, to see where the needs are of which type of older persons, because you cannot actually say that, you know, or lump all older persons into one group. Okay, there are a lot of them who are very active, you know, and you want to empower them further to continue to be to lead a productive life. But at the same time, there are smaller groups that need help, that needs, protection and so on and so forth. And we actually need, that's the reason why we need to push for a coalition, okay, of all stakeholders in the care of older persons. So some of them don't even need care, they can actually provide care, actually. So I suggest that, one of my proposals basically is that, the first thing is to profile, whether psychologically, economically, culturally, whatever, is to do the profiling of old people.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Molly. On this coalition thing, there will be a period in the afternoon when the coalition group will be presenting. Now, for this particular subject, I would like to end it here by noting that Dr. Soon's proposal of doing it slowly, step by step, and looks like the first thing to do is to ensure that presently where the Ministry of Welfare, Women and all that looking after the elderly, that we do have a department instead of them working in isolation. In other words, Department of the Aged, which can later become Ministry of the Aged. So now, MC, how much time do I have? Huh? Wind up. Ayo. I got so many questions. Prepared questions.
I have one important thing to say.
Questions can come during lunch as well, directly to the panelists.
Just one last comment. I spoke to the Minister of Women, Family and Community Development on April 1st during the NGO convention. I complained to her that people in her ministry and the Ministry of Health profile older people as weak, frail, and sickly. All right? Your SOP say that 60 and above cannot do this and do that. That is totally wrong. I spoke to her, and I expect her to convey not only to her ministry, but to also Ministry of Health. And just now, our guest of honor from the Ministry of Health, I also told him to speak to his DG. Don't discriminate against old age. Right? We are as young or as strong, as healthy like all of you. All right? Otherwise, we cannot do anything at all. 60 cannot attend AGM. At one time, cannot even go to supermarket. Right?
Thank you. Right.
Thank you.
I'm supposed to wrap up. The thing is, by the way, have we got anybody from Ministry of Women and Welfare that is looking after our interests? Any representative from them? No. Ta-da. See? You see? An important
we give them,
event like this,
we give them chance,
and they're not here.
They have huge issues in their hands at the moment. We give them chance. Yes. Yeah. I think they have huge issues because there are lots of welfare issues to care for in COVID-19. I think one of the important things when we work together is to see their problem as well. Yeah, rather than just demand from what we have. I think that's from our point of view, yeah. So I think they have huge issues. We need to support them.
Yeah, thank you. Right, it's 12:15, and discussion was getting interesting. And now we got to wrap up. So anyway, thank you very much, my panelists. Dr. Tan Mo Pin and Dr. Soon, Dr. Molly Bakar, for making this forum, interesting. So with that, thank you very much, and I hand this floor back to the MC.
Right,
Thank
thank you. Please leave your mics on the seats. Sound team, can you please sanitize these mics for the next group? In the meantime, just to make sure you're awake, who has noticed something different about me? Who has noticed something different about me? Yes, I have changed the mask because the guideline is every 3 to 4 hours, replace your mask because you get wet, you get dirty, you get smelly. Yeah? If you have them, please do so. If you haven't, tak boleh buat apa lah. Yeah? So a reminder, keep your mask on while they are preparing. Please keep your mask on to proceed with the next forum. Again, my pretty co-MC, are you ready? She is busy in a discussion. Philomena Chan, the next forum.